Imagine a school shrouded in a mist of mystery, a place where the normality of education intertwines with the chilling unknown. Welcome to a realm where the mundane meets the macabre, where knowledge-seeking innocents are unwittingly thrust into a world that defies comprehension. Picture an institution known far and wide for its academic brilliance. A beacon of knowledge, it stands tall and proud, its noble purpose etched into its very foundations. Yet beneath this bastion of learning, a chilling tale of spectral encounters lurks, waiting to be unearthed. This is a school like no other. By day, it hums with the innocent chatter of students, the drone of lessons, the rhythmic clatter of footsteps echoing through its hallowed halls. But as the sun sinks low on the horizon, an eerie silence descends. The playful echoes of the day surrender to the chilling whispers of the night. Shadows lengthen, stretching out into grotesque shapes that seem to dance upon the crumbling walls. The once familiar classrooms transform into a labyrinth of fear and uncertainty. Rumors whisper through the town like a chilling wind, tales of unseen entities, of ghostly apparitions appearing then vanishing into thin air, of strange sounds, an ethereal orchestra playing a symphony of the supernatural, whispers of objects moving of their own accord, of spectral footsteps echoing through deserted corridors. Despite the fear, a sense of morbid curiosity persists. For even as the tales of the school's haunted history chill the bones of those who hear them, they also ignite an insatiable thirst for the unknown. A thrill of anticipation, a shiver of dread, a tantalizing allure that draws one into the heart of the mystery. Yet the true terror lies not in the haunting itself, but in the chilling unknown. For within the walls of this esteemed institution, the line between reality and nightmare is blurred. Here, the veil between the living and the dead is thin and wavering. A mere breath could shatter it. So as the sun dips below the horizon and the school is bathed in the ethereal glow of twilight, a transformation takes place. The school, once a sanctuary of learning, morphs into a stage for the supernatural. But as dusk falls, the school transforms into something unnerving. Enter Mr. Blackwood, a middle-aged man with a stern face, the new substitute teacher. His demeanor as rigid as the iron-cast gates he walked through on his first day. A man of logic and reason, he wore his skepticism like a well-tailored suit, fitting him perfectly. His arrival at the school was met with hushed whispers and sideways glances from the students. The chatter of the schoolyard was awash with the tales of the school's haunting. Stories passed down from one class to the next. Yet Mr. Blackwood, with a dismissive wave of his hand, brushed off these rumors as mere childish folklore. He held firm in his belief that ghosts were nothing more than figments of overactive imaginations. In the echoing halls of the school, under the flickering fluorescent lights, he taught his lessons with a stern resolve. His voice, a commanding baritone, resonated through the silence, punctuated only by the distant ticking of the clock. His presence, though, seemed to stir something within the old school building. An air of unease began to permeate the classrooms, a quiet tension that hung heavy in the air. The days passed, and Mr. Blackwood remained resolute. He continued to dismiss the whispered stories of eerie apparitions and strange happenings. He scoffed at the tales of spectral figures seen in the corner of one's eye, of chilling drafts that seemed to come from nowhere, of disembodied voices whispering in the dead of night. Yet, even as he denied these claims, there was a growing sense of unease, a gnawing dread that he could not shake off. As the sun set each day, casting long shadows down the empty corridors, Mr. Blackwood found himself glancing over his shoulder, his skepticism wavering. The school, once bustling with life, now felt eerily still, its silence echoing with unspoken tales of the supernatural. Mr. Blackwood, the man of reason, the skeptic, the disbeliever, was about to learn a terrible truth. He was about to discover some stories are more than just whispers in the wind. One evening after school, Mr. Blackwood found himself alone in the classroom. The day had drained into twilight, and the once bustling corridors now lay silent and deserted. As he sorted through a pile of essays, an unexpected sound prickled at his senses. A soft, childlike laughter echoing through the empty halls. It was a sound out of place, out of time, like a forgotten memory that clung to the air. Mr. Blackwood paused, the papers in his hand forgotten. He listened, straining to make sense of the out-of-place sound. The laughter echoed again, a haunting melody that danced around the cold stone walls. The sound seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, chilling him to his core. Suddenly a spectral figure materialized before him, the very fabric of reality seeming to warp around its form. It was a child, or at least it seemed like one, its face obscured by a ghostly haze. It stood there silent, its presence an enigma wrapped in a mystery. Mr. Blackwood felt his heart pound in his chest, a drumbeat of fear that echoed the child's laughter. A cold dread washed over him, replacing the calm serenity of his solitude. He was a man of science, a man of reason. Yet here he was, faced with an apparition that defied all logic. Confusion and fear warred within him. He reached out, his hand trembling, his mind grappling with the reality of the situation, but the figure simply faded away, like mist in the morning sun, leaving behind a chilling silence. The laughter echoed once more, fading into nothingness, leaving Mr. Blackwood alone with his fear and the ghostly whispers of a child's laughter. He rose from his chair, his legs shaky, his heart pounding like a frightened hare. That night, Mr. Blackwood left the school with a chill running down his spine. He glanced back at the silent building, the echoes of the spectral encounter resonating in his mind. The school, once a place of learning and laughter, had become a haunted memory, a phantom lesson that would linger long after the echoes faded into silence. Haunted by his experience, Mr. Blackwood began delving into the school's history. As he peeled back the layers of time, he uncovered a tale that was as chilling as it was tragic. The school, once a beacon of hope and knowledge, was now a vessel for a tortured soul, a phantom of a past that refused to be forgotten. In the heart of the school's history, Mr. Blackwood discovered a harrowing event, a tragedy that had been carefully concealed by the passage of time. Over 70 years ago, a student had met an untimely and gruesome end within the very walls of the institution. The student, a young girl, had been a beloved figure, her laughter echoing through the hallways, her vivacity bringing life to the stone-cold structure. But one fateful day her light was extinguished abruptly, her life snuffed out in a disturbing accident that left the school and its inhabitants in a state of shock and despair. The circumstances surrounding her demise were shrouded in mystery. Some whispered of a cruel prank gone awry, others of a tragic misstep that led her to her doom. Yet, regardless of the cause, the result was the same. A life was lost, and a school was left to grapple with the aftermath. As Mr. Blackwood delved deeper, he began to see a connection. The spectral apparition that haunted the school bore a striking resemblance to the descriptions of the deceased student, the ghostly encounters, the chilling whispers, the unnerving presence. It all pointed to the tragic girl who lost her life so many years ago. Yet as he pieced together the puzzle, a chilling realization dawned upon him. The haunting was not a simple manifestation of a tragic past, but rather, it seemed to be a cry for help, a desperate plea for justice from beyond the grave. But the truth was far more sinister than Mr. Blackwood could ever imagine. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, Mr. Blackwood made a terrifying discovery. A chilling breath of realization swept through the room, as cold as the shadows of the forgotten past. The ghostly figure that had been lurking in the school's dark corners, the spectral whisper in the wind, was none other than the restless spirit of a deceased student. A student who, it seemed, was not ready to leave the world of the living. The student's name had been forgotten by time, buried beneath the layers of history. But his spirit? His spirit remained, tethered to the school, seeking justice for a crime that had been swept under the rug. The echo of his laughter, the phantom footsteps in empty corridors, were not mere hauntings, but desperate pleas from beyond the grave. As he delved deeper into the school's archives, Mr. Blackwood discovered a shocking twist that sent a jolt of terror down his spine. The student's death had not been an unfortunate accident, as the school's records had led everyone to believe. No, the truth was much more sinister. The circumstances surrounding the demise were shrouded in uncertainty, in a veil of deceit that had been carefully woven to hide a dreadful secret. The heart-rending cries of the phantom student were not merely echoes of a tragic past, but the voice of a soul demanding retribution. His spirit was not at peace, not until the truth was brought to light, not until justice was served. The revelation sent a ripple of fear through Mr. Blackwood. The school he had come to love was now a haunting ground, a vessel of untold horror. The walls whispered secrets, the floors echoed tales of deceit, and every corner held a piece of a terrifying puzzle. Who was responsible for the student's death? The answer, it seems, is a mystery that continues to haunt the school's hallowed halls. An unending riddle that, like the phantom student, refused to be silenced until the truth was unearthed. Until then, the school remained a chilling testament to a horrifying past, a past that was alive and well in the form of a spectral student seeking justice.